Hello, my fire signs. This is for Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. So, how did the lunar eclipse treat you guys? I feel like your fire has been a little put out lately. Maybe for the last, couple of weeks coming up to this. Maybe you're feeling a little bit drained. Maybe feeling a bit more like a homebody. Maybe not as quite as social as you're used to being. This was a water eclipse, right? So I think this maybe even made you a little bit emotional, or just feeling like you needed to have somebody understand you, or be close to somebody that you cared about. You didn't really have time for, a bunch of hoo-hawing. I don't think it's been bad. I don't think that maybe you've been feeling, upset or sad, but I think it's just kind of putting you in touch with how you really feel about things. And like any lunar eclipse, we're trying to figure out what the eclipse wants from us and what it wants to take out of our lives. And some of that might be a little bit of the fight. I feel like the fire signs have been a little bit combative lately. Just not even in a bad way, maybe sometimes, but just really feeling the need to fight to be heard and fight for their decisions and standing their ground and, just kind of out to prove something. And I think this lunar eclipse is maybe showing you what's important to you in your life, like what you love, what you hold dear. I think it's encouraging you to be present in your relationships and the ones that are close to you, the one-on-ones. The eclipse is very ancestral as well, so this might really show you, who in your family has, I guess, shown you the most support and caring, and maybe who might have affected you in a bit more of a negative way. Maybe picked up some habits or defense mechanisms from certain people. You might be feeling pretty tired, but kind of like you're in the 9 of wands, like you've thrown everything against the wall. You're trying to figure out what's going to work. Just trying to find out your direction, and I feel like you're just kind of setting fires in all directions, and now I just think you're tired. You're tired of fighting. It's time to sort of lay low and figure out where you're going from here. And I think this month, just kind of being in that little bit more of a chill state and maybe getting in touch with how you're feeling about things, where you're at in your life. Be careful of minor, accidents and stuff. I think you're just going to feel, a little more unaware, not quite as sharp. I think all of us are feeling like that, a little foggy. I think it's be easy to get some bumps and bruises along the way. Nothing major, though. So I'm going to pull a few cards for you. All right, your first one is Light and Love. And it says, your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. And that really is sort of true to what I was saying. It's like fire brings beautiful warmth and light to everybody. It's a place where, if we're camping or we're out in the woods or whatever, and we're cold and wet and tired from the day, somebody lights a fire and everybody gathers around. You're very magnetic. You're very warm. And when somebody is close to you that you give attention to, they really feel that they're important. They feel warm. They feel cared for. And then the love, I think you're learning to show love instead of maybe always having to run around and make sure everybody's okay, or, make sure people are being heard or being seen or standing up for them. I think you're maybe needing to learn how to show it in a more kind of flowing and loving and more internal way, like a deeper connection there. So, but shine your light bright. We all need that from you. And your other card is energy healing. Your natural energy healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. So that goes really well to pretty much everything I just said. You know, just your presence alone when you're, you know, in that supportive and loving mind frame, just your aura, just your essence is a very healing energy. So I hope you know how much you affect people. And so this is, I think, looking outward a little bit as well, like sort of sitting and observing like the energy of people around you and noticing that when you are attentive to them, when you are showing love to them and affection, how much of an impact that has on other people. And also discerning on like how many people are sort of using your light because they, you know, are too lazy to find their own, or maybe they're just kind of soaking up your energy. That might be something that you need to release as well. It's like, are you burning yourselves at both ends? Are you burning the candle at both ends? Are you burning yourself out? So we want to turn that feeling of burnout into feeling of just that calm, quiet, warm, you know, like you've got enough for you and the people around you. Next, we have the High Priest. Well, there you go. I'm back in action. I feel like this is the Emperor card in the Rider-Waite. The High Priest he's the leader. He's the boss. He's earned his place. His or her, doesn't really matter. On the throne, people look up to him. He's got the sun right above him. You know, midday. And he has everything he needs. He's a warrior. And so I'm thinking that this bit of time in between where you might feel a little subdued and a little bit burnt out and a little quieter than usual, I think you're just recharging, you know, basically recharging. And when you do take your position again of, you know, being full of passion and drive, I think you're going to have more wisdom, maybe be a little bit more in touch with your heart and what it is that you do love, and then that will shine brighter than ever in the near future. And next we've got the Queen of Swords. So obviously air and fire is pretty intense. The Queen of Swords she just knows, right? She knows, she's very sure. She's very fair. She might be a little bit cold, but she's got clarity. She knows where she wants to go. And it looks like just moving forward, instead of, again, sort of shining your light bright for everybody, energy vampires, all that kind of stuff, you're going to just be very clear on who you want in your life and who to put your focus into. And I think you're going to be able to speak very clearly and explain, or just be able to like tell people no, you know, tell people not today, tell them the reasons why. I think your communication skills are going to improve from taking this little bit of a step back. And I think you're going to be able to fairly and justly cut people or things out of your life that are not serving your path into the future, that aren't kind of holding you back or draining you at this time. And I think you're going to feel just a very quiet confidence after this eclipse season. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. And that is everything. That's your, you know, your family, your legacy, I think this is like you're really stepping into the energy of maturity in the sense of your like soul path. I think you're really finding out who you are. Again, embracing the fact that you are light and you are a healer and you are powerful, and then getting in touch with just how you feel about your life and the people around you, and taking that little breath and then stepping back into, you know, your full power, but full of wisdom, the ability to communicate, the ability to see the truth and cut out what you don't need, communicate clearly your needs, and then the Ten of Pentacles is also just sort of spending time with the people that you care about and having people look up at you and follow your lead. And leaving a legacy is not just money or what you do in the world. It's sort of who you are, how you act, how you handle things. And I think that you're going to just be a great mentor and role model, I think, for the future. I think you're really figuring yourself out at this time. Next we have, we've got the Ace of Swords. So this is a victory over oneself. This is a little bit different than the Queen of Swords. This is the clear idea. This is, I've got control of my mind. I know exactly what I want. I have victory over the struggles that I've been going through with trying to decide, how to be there for the people in my life without burning myself out. This is a gift. This is the gift of communication. This is the gift of your truth, living your authentic self and your truth. And this is you going forward, having won over sort of that battle. So it's looking so far like what you need to release is holding back on communicating your needs with people, but without waiting for so long that you have to blow up at them, like combust, basically. All right, next we have the Tower. And everybody's sort of getting the Tower. This is just a big realization. This is something that might take you by surprise because it seems like because you're making these changes internally, externally, finding your, like I said, finding your strength, finding your power, being able to communicate it, leaving this legacy or finding out what legacy you want to leave. I almost think this Tower is going to be people around you, like they might fight to sort of keep the old you. Like, who is this now? Like, you're not the same. And, what are you doing? And I think you're going to just have this big realization that there may be some people in your life that, have always been there. And maybe they have sort of done their time by your side. And it may surprise you. It may be like, well, I never thought that this person wouldn't be in my life, but because you now are starting to figure out who you are and what you want, there's always going to be some people that fall away because they don't get to have the you that serves them. So there might be a few surprises in there, but hold tight because, the Tower comes to, break away anything that was not on solid ground so that you can rebuild, right? And this is a big rebuilding process anyway through this eclipse season. And then we've got the King of Cups. So that's just not only you being in a more stable, place of emotions where you can ride these waves. These people might have freaked out and what are you doing and you can't do that and you're going this way and oh my gosh, you've changed, all that kind of stuff. And having that victory, having that clear communication and feeling really strong on the inside, your heart is strong, your mind is strong, then none of that's going to bother you in the future. It may be hard at first and it may be a bit jarring as, you kind of watch all these like pieces kind of crack and crumble. But I think in the end, you're going to really feel stable, and I think you're going to be able to listen to your intuition better. There won't be so much noise and chaos getting in the way of you really hearing what you need and knowing what you love, like being able to feel your heart, not just I need to do this for this person because this person is, you know, needs this, or this person's in trouble. Just what do you need? You know, what do you need in love, and what do you need in life? So that King of Cups, I think, is going to be really important for you. And next we have the Queen. There we go, Queen of Cups. So this could be, this is also following your heart. Excuse me. This is following your heart. This is being able to connect, you know, to your intuition. This is very soulful, very wise in the emotions. This is this could be a really good match, you know, maybe as if you are not in a relationship, then this could be, you know, after you've become stable and more connected to yourself and your heart and your passions, you're going to draw in somebody that is on that same wavelength, that's stable and following their heart and can offer the right type of love that doesn't need you to shine so bright for yourself and them to the point where it's exhausting. This is somebody that's matching your energy. This is somebody that loves very deeply and that knows themselves and knows what their heart wants. So if there is somebody coming in, or if that's what you're looking for, that could be a very loving and stable relationship there. One last card. We've got the Princess of Swords. So this is interesting. Princess of Swords. So you've had the Queen of Swords on your side, and now, you know, you've gone through this journey, and you're, you know, you've gotten in touch with your heart and your emotions, and I feel like this is somebody coming to you that's younger, like for advice. You know, somebody that's seen you go through this progression, maybe that's looked up to you, and really wants to learn something from you. That's what I feel with this Princess of Swords. And I think that this might be a really good opportunity to share what you've learned and share your wisdom, because you do have natural healing abilities. And now that you're able to communicate them without exhausting yourself, I think this might be a really important connection. And I think it will be good for this person that needs, you know, a role model or a mentor. And I really think this is going to be a nice, fulfilling part of your life. So best of luck with that in the future. You are love and you are loved. Take care.